Space is vast, mysterious, and stranger than we can possibly imagine. Some of the most unbelievable facts about our universe sound more like science fiction than reality. Did you know there are planets where it rains molten glass sideways at 7,000 kilometers per hour? Or that the largest known star could swallow our entire solar system? Today, we are diving into the most mind-bending and jaw-dropping space facts ever discovered. By the end, you will see the universe in a completely different way. Let's start with something that defies common sense. The universe has no center. When we think of an explosion, we imagine debris flying outward from a central point. But the Big Bang wasn't an explosion in space. It was the expansion of space itself. Every galaxy is moving away from every other galaxy, like raisins in rising bread dough. That means no matter where you stand in the universe, it looks like you're at the center. The reality is there is no single middle of the universe. Everywhere is expanding at once. Now let's move to something even larger than the universe itself expanding, the largest known star. Its name is UY Scuti. This monster is so gigantic that if you replaced our sun with UY Scuti, its surface would extend beyond the orbit of Jupiter. That's over 1,000 times the size of our sun. You could fit more than 5 billion suns inside it. Yet despite its unimaginable scale, it appears as nothing more than a faint dot through our most powerful telescopes. It is a perfect reminder of just how small our solar system really is. As if that wasn't wild enough, there's a planet made almost entirely of diamond. It's called 55 Cancri A, located about 40 light years away. Scientists believe it is largely made of carbon, and under the crushing pressures deep inside, much of that carbon could be crystallized into diamond. Imagine a world twice the size of Earth, glittering like a gemstone, worth more than anything humanity has ever known. Of course, with surface temperatures reaching 2,400 degrees Celsius, it's not exactly a place you could take a vacation. If diamonds don't impress you, how about alcohol clouds floating in space? Astronomers have discovered a massive gas cloud near the constellation Aquila, containing enough ethyl alcohol to make 4 trillion pints of beer. That's enough to give every person on Earth a glass every day for millions of years. It's floating in deep space, far beyond our reach, but it shows that the building blocks for complex chemistry are spread throughout the cosmos. Let's talk about something darker, black holes. These cosmic monsters are so dense that not even light can escape them. If you fell into a black hole feet first, your body would be stretched like spaghetti in a process scientists call spaghettification. Yet at the same time, from the perspective of an outside observer, you would appear to freeze in place at the event horizon. Time itself behaves differently depending on where you are. In a very real way, black holes warp the fabric of reality. But black holes are not the strangest things out there. Some stars, called neutron stars, are so dense that a single teaspoon of their material would weigh as much as Mount Everest. These stars are the collapsed cores of supernovae. They spin hundreds of times per second and generate magnetic fields trillions of times stronger than Earth's. Standing near one would be impossible. The sheer gravity would crush you instantly. And then there are rogue planets. These are worlds that drift through space without a star. They were once part of solar systems, but were flung out by gravitational chaos. Imagine a lonely planet, drifting endlessly through the darkness, with no sun to warm it. Some of these planets might still have internal heat, and even oceans beneath their frozen surfaces. It's possible that life could exist on one, floating in the void between stars. Here's another fact that doesn't feel real. there are more stars in the universe than grains of sand on every beach on Earth. Let that sink in. Pick up a handful of sand. Each grain represents a star. Now imagine every beach, every desert, every sand dune on Earth. Multiply that by thousands, and you might begin to grasp the scale of the cosmos. The night sky that looks almost empty is actually overflowing with uncountable stars. And around those stars orbit unimaginable planets. We've already discovered over 5,000 exoplanets, and we are only scratching the surface. Many are stranger than anything in science fiction. There's one where it rains molten iron, another where winds blow at 7,000 kilometers per hour, hurling shards of glass sideways. Some orbit so close to their stars that a year lasts only a few hours. Others are so far out that a single orbit could take 1,000,000 years. And around those stars orbit unimaginable planets. We've already discovered over 5,000 exoplanets, and we are only scratching the surface. Many are stranger than anything in science fiction. There's one where it rains molten iron, another where winds blow at 7,000 kilometers per hour, hurling shards of glass sideways. Some orbit so close to their stars that a year lasts only a few hours. Others are so far out that a single orbit could take 1,000,000 years. Then there's the concept of time itself in space. Time does not tick at the same rate everywhere. Einstein's theory of relativity tells us that the closer you are to a massive object, the slower time moves. This is called time dilation. Astronauts on the International Space Station actually age slightly slower than we do on Earth because they are moving so fast in orbit. It's only a fraction of a second, but it proves that time is not universal. It bends, stretches, and twists with gravity. Speaking of bending, light itself can be bent by gravity. Massive galaxies can act as cosmic magnifying glasses, bending and focusing the light of objects far behind them in a phenomenon called gravitational lensing. Thanks to this, we can sometimes see galaxies that are billions of light years away, magnified and distorted by invisible cosmic forces. Space literally lets us peer into the past. And speaking of the past, did you know that when you look at the night sky, you are seeing history? The light from our sun takes 8 minutes to reach Earth. The light from the nearest star system, Alpha Centauri, takes more than 4 years. The light from the Andromeda Galaxy takes over 2 million years. When you gaze at distant galaxies through a telescope, you're looking at them as they were millions or even billions of years ago. The deeper into space we look, the further back in time we see. Here's another fact that boggles the mind. The largest structure in the observable universe is a cosmic wall of galaxies stretching over 1.5 billion light years across. That's so enormous that if you traveled at the speed of light, it would still take you 1.5 billion years to cross it. Space is not just empty. It is filled with colossal structures held together by gravity, stretching across unimaginable distances. Finally, let's end on something close to home. Earth itself is not permanent. In about 5 billion years, our sun will run out of fuel and swell into a red giant engulfing Mercury, Venus, and possibly Earth. Long before that, humans will need to find a new home if we want to survive. Space is not just something out there, it is our future. It holds both our greatest dangers and our greatest opportunities. The universe is stranger, bigger, and more unbelievable than we could ever have imagined. From diamond planets to alcohol clouds, from rogue worlds to black holes, every discovery reminds us how small we are and how much there is left to explore. The only limit to what we will uncover next is how far we are willing to look.